How long gone? Super Sunday. Them jeans, what's good?
What is super about today, Chris? I'd like to know from your hand.
Not much. Okay.
Not much.
I was trying to be positive at the top of the show here before we get into all the ills of the world.
Okay, yeah, I'm having a good Sunday. This is the first Sunday. This is the first day in about a week that I got a normal night's sleep where I didn't go to bed from somewhere between 2 and 5 a.m. while drunk. So off to a good start. Went for a hike this morning, stayed in, ordered some California chicken cafe delivery to the crib, watched the SNL movie on Amazon Prime.
How bad is it?
I liked it a lot, actually.
That's insane because I think it's been written off almost as unwatchable.
Did not perform.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know if that's
Matt Bellany and a bunch of other people said it was really good and they liked it, so that's why I gave it a watch. And Carolyn and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was well done.
Who's in it?
A bunch of no names.
Kaya Gerber,
Rachel Sennett's in it. J.K. Simmons, Willem Dafoe. But otherwise, all the main stars that play all the cast members are all unknowns, and they all do a good job.
Oh, love to hear that. I won't be checking it out, but I'm glad that you did. Yeah, I had the day from hell yesterday. So we had a 7-hour flight delay coming back. The flight took off after it was supposed to land. You know what I mean? That's always a bad sign.
Yeah, and everyone sort of does that math in their head quietly to themselves.
You know, I got to the airport at 6 a.m. I got home to my apartment in New York at 11 p.m. So it was a long day. But I'm proud to say I still didn't use the Delta in-flight entertainment for 1 second. My streak continues.
What did you do at LAX for those 7 hours?
Sat in the...
So wait, what time did you go to sleep? What time did you wake up and go to the airport?
I went to sleep at probably 1:30, and then woke up at 5:30, and then sat in the airport. Yeah, I timed it perfectly. I was so psyched. I had 10 minutes before it boarded. I went through security, the whole thing. And then we got on the plane, and the captain. I'm sorry to. I got some bad news from the cockpit. It looks like my oxygen mask won't deploy, and we're gonna have to. Yeah. So they had to fly one in. They had to fly in. They literally had to fly in a piece of equipment, and I was like, "Oh, that's not good."
Okay, so they threw a new oxygen mask in the back of an Uber, and it took so long to get across town in LA traffic.
Yeah, it took forever.
Rattling around the back of a Nissan Altima.
It was coming from Pasadena. It's just so far from the airport.
So then you're also doing the math of so I only got 4 hours of sleep last night. And now if I woke up now, then it would have been 8 hours of sleep, which I probably needed a lot. And instead,
it's okay.
I'm refreshing my Twitter feed.
I was sitting in the... Also, I have a bone to pick. I know you've raved about the Delta One Lounge. I didn't realize the one in New York isn't like this. The one in LA is only you have to be served by a waiter. I find that to be really unnecessary and too much. And it was kind of annoying. Because I was hunkering down for a long stretch. I'm like, bro, I don't want to keep having to make small talk with you every time you fill up my fucking water glass. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Okay.
It almost makes it too annoying, honestly.
So there was no self-service anything.
There's no self-service. I didn't realize that either because I had only been there once or twice, and I've never had that much time there. But the one in New York, it's got a full, almost like Erewhon hot bar situation where you walk up to it and ask. You know what I mean?
Okay, so just to be clear, your beef is that you have to, shoot a little smile or a look every time a person comes over and fills your water for you?
My beef is that it's inefficient to do it that way, but they think it's nicer, and it fools people into thinking it's nicer when it's not.
I think it's nice to get a refilled.
It's the same exact slop, just put on a plate behind a door. That's not you're making it more uncomfortable.
Slop different. It's still slop, but I think it's not the same exact slop.
I'm sure it's not. To some degree, but I just don't need a waiter to hand me water and coffee in an airport lounge. I can get up and get. It takes longer. You know what I mean? Than just getting up.
You know what's weird is this is very alienating to some listeners right now. So sorry. We'll move on from this, but when I was at the Heathrow, whenever I'm in the Virgin Heathrow Lounge, it's the same thing, service only, QR code, menu, the whole thing. But I actually like it there. It works there for some reason. Because British people are better at stuff?
I mean, they're not. They're better at music. They're not better at dental hygiene and liver care.
I'm talking about just, social skills.
I wouldn't.
Communication, talking, being a human being.
That's interesting. I don't know if that's true, but I think that all of this is unnecessary and it's fake luxury, and we got to put a stop to. It's like fake nice, and that's what I don't. Like it's overdoing it to confuse people, and I'm putting a stop to it right now.
So if you were the CEO of Delta, what would you be doing, Chris? CEO challenge.
I mean,
it's a new TikTok dance.
First of all, if I was the CEO of Delta, I would be
the CEO do the Dougie.
I'd be hiring security guards. I wouldn't be worried about what Chris Black is. I don't care about the lounge right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
You went through for those 7 hours, Chris. It's enough to. Rent a city bike, isn't it?
It almost. I wanted to ride back. I could have ridden back. Electric city bike would have taken me 3 hours. Would have taken me 3 hours. No, it wasn't. I mean, I just feel like it's an inefficient system that, and all of that stuff is meant to make people feel like they're rich, and it actually doesn't. It's all fake. It feels like it just doesn't feel real to me.
But in comparison to the alternative, it is better though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying is there's a level where it's better, and there's a level where it's like you're going too far and this is annoying.
Yeah,
and I think that it's gonna, as it continues to move in that direction, it's just gonna get worse. Like,
what industry doesn't do that? Like I think I see that with cars all the time. Like I feel like the quality, like certain things just cap out, and then at a certain point, it's just like, oh, now we made the light be. You could turn it purple. As well,
no,
like, okay,
yeah.
Just all the it turns into dumb shit that nobody needs at a certain point across all products. Just like with bags and clothes and cars. And
I agree. I mean, that's why you and I both drive an all new.
This is why we need a new America.
This is why we both drive an all new Genesis, because it's just the same thing as a Mercedes or a BMW. So why not get the cheaper one? I couldn't agree more.
I was looking at Genesises when I bought this car a couple of years ago, just because it'd be funny to have. I mean, maybe not funny, but I like the idea of driving like a Korean businessman's car. It has a certain level.
I'm also
of
sure it is nice. I'm sure it is nice actually. Yeah. But I've never been.
They need to work out their wheels. They're a little. They don't fit the structure. And also shout out, congrats to Korea, and also congrats to Syria, freed from the oppressive dictatorship. Let's go.
Oh wow. Okay. You talk about alienating the listenership. Anyway,
with what front page news?
Nobody wants to hear how long ago I talk about dictators. That's all I'm saying. Unless we have an idea for a new one.
It was
that could kind of rock.
Yeah, Theo Vaughn. He'd be a good one. Dude, if Joe Rogan ran this place. I mean, Trump runs it like a he's like a businessman, so he'd run this country like a business.
Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Theo Vaughn, he's like controversial, but he's got good ideas. He's got super good ideas.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry. I don't plan to talk any more about Syria or dictatorships. I just wanted to give a brief shout out because it seems like a win.
I mean, especially
I didn't read the news that much.
I was looking at our kind of demographic breakdown, and Syria and Korea are really big for us actually. So it's hopefully we see some like increases in merch orders and stuff.
Look, after visiting Art Basel, I have a global mindset, and it's not just America that I'm focused on. There's a lot of people, and also in Glendale, I'm sure we have some Syrianas up in here.
Dude.
It's like Tatiana, but with
I got it. No, I got it very quickly.
Period. It's serving Syriana on
Miami. Miami, really, I did experience a lot of Spanish first in Miami, which I kind of forgotten about that being like kind of how it goes there, and it made me feel stupid for not being able to understand it or communicate in any way.
Like you couldn't even order a cup of coffee without them being like, "Me no speako."
Yeah.
Whatever you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
We speak Spanish. We speak Starbucks. We do not speak whatever you're saying. Yeah, you're Yankee Doodle.
Exactly. I really did. I was like, damn, this sucks. I can't speak this language right now, because I feel like it would be very helpful in many ways in my life. But I persist. I made it through.
You did. You barely made it through. Did we talk about Miami?
Yeah, I think so.
A little. Well, we recorded the pod in Miami. The last
before.
one,
Yeah, it was
before we did anything. So it was like just when we arrived. Yeah, Miami. I mean, if you went to one of our live shows in LA yesterday, then you would have heard it. But what did I say? I said the problem with Art Basel is anyone can go.
That's the problem with everything. Yeah, anybody can go. I mean,
but not everything. Not everything.
That's what happened to South by Southwest. That's what happened to CMJ before it closed. I mean, I guess Coachella, you have to buy a ticket, but
is it just because it's a new thing at some point, and at a certain like South by Southwest, it turned into that just through time. It never changed anything. It was always just like a bunch of shows happening, but then with enough time, the not cool people hear about it.
Well, no, it just starts as like an industry thing where people are actually going to like work, and then the brands come in and start pumping money into it, and it becomes a place to party. Mm-hmm. So people, that's all, I mean, it's like, that's all Miami, that's all it is. It's parties sponsored by something.
So they're like, what if we did this and made money, and then it all got ruined?
That's kind of, that's kind of, I mean, I don't know if it was ever not ruined. Like, otherwise it's just filled with nerds. So I don't know what's better, really. I mean, maybe the traffic is a little better.
I'm sure it was really cool when you would just be like, oh, we just saw Sonic Youth play at a barbecue restaurant, and like at a certain point it was probably cool and interesting, right? I went to a few South Bys that were really fun.
Yeah, I always had fun. Don't get me wrong. I
guess it is nerdy.
I always had fun, thanks to our friends at Doritos, but I always had a good time. I mean, I always had a good time at South by Southwest particularly. But it's interesting because all those things happen in, like, I feel like Austin, Miami, those are all places where crypto guys are hiding out to avoid taxes, which is an interesting layer to add to all these creative industries and rich people visiting from Switzerland.
Yeah, and I think the reason why it was a little bit of a somber mood outside of the How Long Gone Silencio party, which was the best night of the week, many sources are saying. I think there was an overall somber mood across the peninsula, mostly because of traffic, but also that crypto community was taking a big hit from the Hawk Tuah Pump and Dump. And I think the streets there's a lot of uncertainty.
How do you recover from that? How do you recover from that? I wish we would have...
It's really touch and go right now.
I wish we would have flown in for 10 minutes today. We should have gotten a crypto expert on this podcast to explain to us what happened with the Hawk Tuah coin. Because I still don't I don't fully get it, but it's funny, right? Like no one was hurt. It's funny.
I think it's just a standard pump and dump thingy, but I think there was a lot of people satirizing somebody being financially hurt, where there's a lot of people saying like, I know, Hawk Tuah, I spent my entire life savings on your coin because I believe in you, and now my wife and kids left me because I lost all of our money.
I mean, it's really funny. It's really, really funny. And
but there has to be some people out there that actually did lose money on it. But I think the idea, it's like, if you're dumb enough to invest into Hawk Tuah's crypto,
you deserve it.
Coin, then you deserve it.
You deserve it. Yeah,
which feels bad saying, but
I don't feel bad about that at all. It's not like somebody's house got fucking washed away in a flood that the universe, bestowed. You made a choice to sit in your basement with 2 monitors open and put $100,000 into Hawk Tuah coin.
Yeah, let's just hope instead of a few whales losing a lot of money, it was just several hundreds of thousands of little tiny whales who just lost $10 or something, which combined to be, whatever the 40 million.
I like little tiny whales, like just fish at that point. There's dolphins.
We could call them a fish, or we can call them a tadpole.
I wonder.
Bluegill.
I wonder. I mean, I feel like it's also one of those kind of embarrassing things where it's like, what are you gonna like come out and say you lost $1 million? Like, it's embarrassing. You can't even admit it.
It's like when you like, I lost my butt plug. What am I going to do? Ask my mom if she can help me find it?
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. Like, we got to keep it pressing. That's all we got. That's all we got.
Take that L and keep moving. It's like when you're smuggling some keys through the port of Miami and a couple duct taped bricks with a Nike logo on them fall off the boat, and DJ Khaled finds it on one of his Sea-Doos. Charge it to the game. What are you going to do? Call the cops? Report missing coke?
I've misplaced my large bundles of cocaine. Could you guys help me?
You can keep some.
What I love about this story, though, is that it just continues to keep Hawk Tuah in our thoughts and prayers. She's not going away. You know what I mean? She continues. She's a cat with 9 lives, and this just continues the legacy.
Her interview magazine editorial spread dropped, and the images, unfortunately, I enjoy.
Yeah, they're sick.
They're well done.
They're sick.
The Richard Kernification of imagery is really growing right now, and it's a welcome change to whatever has been going on, right?
For some of us, Kern never went away. He's been beasting for 30 years. But I think
I'm not talking about you and your saved files. I'm just talking about the overall fashion aesthetic with image makers.
Don't ever bring up another man's save files. That's fucked up, and you know it. You know that's bad.
Might be, playa. Might be.
No, but I'm with you. I'm with you. No, I'm with you, and I think that Hawk Tuah will continue to thrive in Trump's America, and that's something we should all be grateful for.
Yeah, the problem is, I don't want to be talking about it. Nobody wants to hear about it, but it really, like you said, it's got 9 lives, and the growth should be studied. People are saying that she's obviously been inserted by the Israeli government to harm the nation of America.
Bro, are you watching? Are you? Is this?
I don't
from
believe
an
that. That was a
tweet,
joke, Chris.
or is this okay? Okay. It's like, damn. I believe somebody could say that. I'm not going to say that. People are that stupid. I completely think that's possible.
It is something that I read, but I don't think it was really rooted.
It was
in any
jest.
fact.
It was in jest. Okay.
Maybe not though. Those are the best. Those are the best tweets, right?
Couldn't agree more. You don't know what you're getting. It's called fake news for some people. It's called comedy for others. Just depends on how you look at it.
And it's a great easy way out. I forgot. I was watching something and they were talking about that. How comedians are when you're able to do that, then you can claim ownership of it if it ends up being the correct way of thinking, and you can say that it was a joke the entire time and you never believed it if it ends up not being the correct way of thinking.
It's all good either way. It's all good.
Which seems unfair, but also, why not do it if you can? It's kind of like how the rich people abuse our tax system. It's like, someone's getting fucked here. Do you want to take it or do you want to give it?
This is what I'm talking about with the CEO outrage. You know, it's just like, what are you really mad at? Like, these are just rich guys. Like, it's not, I just don't.
Which outrage are you talking about, though?
I just mean that, like, one guy, healthcare is bad. But I guess what my problem is that people think that they can, that everything is like, can be blamed on one person.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, this guy, of course he's the CEO, of course he's the figurehead. I understand that he's the face of it, but let's be real here. It's not like he might be the final sign off on things here and there, but there's a board he answers to. It's not like this guy's like a dictator to bring it back to Syria. It's not like he's you know what I mean? None of these guys are dictators. Like they report to someone. They're the boss. And if you want to kill them, be my guest. But I'm just saying, maybe that's not going to change it.
They report to the board, the shareholders, the partners, and then President Trump, he is not the one who's running things. He is reporting to the invisible hand that is the board of our government.
I guess I just think things at these levels are done more a little bit by committee than people are willing to admit when they're in a rage of passion. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but also if you're in a rage of passion, it's nice to at least get any win, hit totally. You know what I mean?
But it's also, nothing is going to happen from this CEO being shot, except healthcare companies are going to spend more money on personal security for high-ranking executives. That's the only thing. There's not going to be any like systemic change to the way insurance works. Because, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like all this stuff is just kind of, it's funny, but it's not going to do it. I don't know what the intention is, but I imagine it's not going to achieve what was intended.
Well, I mean, I think it could be one stone that is the starting point of something, and I think it could eventually lead to something. I think with the proper public outrage, you can make real systemic change, because without the people, without the customer base, the company wouldn't exist ever. The same way the government would like to kill all of us with drones, but then they wouldn't have anything to govern over.
But the problem with this is that insurance is something that we've been told we have to have. There's no way out. There's no other option. You know what I mean? The option is you either have insurance or you don't. There's no, right. You know what I mean? And it's
you can have insurance, or you could be independently wealthy and just pay your medical bills as they arrive, which is the true way to do it and what we should be all building towards. But the problem is the government mandating health insurance for citizens, and then Medicare being privately subsidized to these companies, and then they take their little slice off the top instead of the government doing it themselves.
I guess, and this is what I was saying to you earlier. Nothing's going to change. There's too much money. We're never going to be like Europe. We're never going to be like Canada. It's a bad reality that we need to swallow. Like, it's not gonna, like, that's just what it is. There's way too much money wrapped up in something
what
like
if
that.
Trump fixes it, bro? What if Trump breaks it all
Trump
open? It's no longer privatized.
Trump would do the opposite.
And he gets a plan.
He would somehow make it worse, I think, if he had the chance to make someone himself or some of his friends rich.
Look, RFK goes in, he breaks it up. I saw.
Well, now that okay,
January 20th, RFK said he's going to ban Diet Coke in America. Bro, you can't. If I forgot the tweet. It'll make January 6th look like a kid's first birthday party if that happens.
Dude, you thought gays and fashion PR assistants were hype for Brat Summer? If you take away their Diet Coke,
if you take away their mud,
heads are gonna roll. That's it. That is a dangerous precedent. That's on par with rolling abortion back, I think, for some people. I think it's
okay. So
people are reacting.
We got
very
Roe v.
seriously.
Wade, and we've got Coke v.
Coke v. Kennedy.
Yeah, Coke v. RFK. Blood in the streets.
I did
for a fortnight.
I did see that, and that is really. But I wonder what really is going to happen. Like, I wonder because he's promising all this stuff's going to happen on Inauguration Day. I'm very interested to see how. Obviously, I guess it's possible to some degree, but I think he's doing a classic.
Yeah, to me, those are like campaign trail style lies and fabrications that obviously won't ever come to fruition once we're in office. But he already won. He's already been appointed. So don't start off. Everyone in the world has a very bad feeling about you for myriad reasons. So don't start off day one saying, I'm going to do this. It's like Trump saying like, and we're going to get Mexico to pay for it. And then the first day Mexico's like, we're not ever going to pay for it. And then that was it,
Yeah, no, that one came and went real quick. Quick.
But that's an example, like we've talked about it before, like, it sucks. The death and destruction is bad. And like, sometimes you just got to laugh at something and it's funny that this is happening. I think a good, safe, interesting, funny social experiment. I just like seeing, and I think other people do, you just want to see some big shit go down. Like when you hear there's an earthquake that's 9.3, it sucks that somebody is going to die from that, but you're like, I want to check it out and see the destruction. I want to see the tidal wave footage. I want to see crazy shit go down. If they really did ban the sale of Diet Coke overnight, that would be such a cool...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it'd be like that Civil War movie that A24 did. It would be the most exciting week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In society, just to see what happens.
Well, that's a perfect example of something that is so low stakes at the end of the day. We're not talking about people's lives here. We're talking about a beverage you shouldn't be consuming being banned by people who shouldn't be banning it. It's a real win-win for everybody. You're right. It's only comedic. There's no real loser.
Yeah, because like when they banned the mango Jewel pods, a lot of people are like, dude, that freaking sucks. And then the next day you just move on. Mm-hmm. But I feel like with Diet Coke, there's going to be footage of people, in flyover states snot crying at Walmart, just families torn, candlelight vigils. The resale market's going to go crazy.
Well, here's the thing. The mango Jewel pod, which is a great example, that appealed to a very certain demographic of young people. Diet Coke, if RFK bans Diet Coke, it could actually be the thing that unites this country. People from both sides are going to band together to save their beloved beverage.
Yeah, more people drink Diet Coke than like anything.
They don't give a fuck about the aspartame. They don't care. They're willing to die for this, and I think that this could actually unite the country. I'm realizing this now. It's all coming to me now. So maybe if RFK bans Diet Coke, it's actually a good thing for our crumbling society.
Well, we got Addison Rae on the other side. Diet Pepsi. Is that going to get cut too? Is we doing a one at a time? It's been very quiet about Diet Pepsi is all I'm saying.
It has been very where were we at the edition? They only had Pepsi products in Miami. Which when you ordered a Coke for lunch, she's like, I have Pepsi, and it was just like, no, like what? Yeah. That's not even like Addison Rae's done more for Diet Pepsi than they could have done for themselves. That's for sure.
I know. I really hope she got a check for that, or at least a fruit basket, edible arrangement.
It does feel old school, kind of like rap videos where they talk about Cristal and Cristal's in the video.
Of course.
A little pay for play. It does feel like that.
Yeah.
It does.
I want it to be. If that is true, then that would be a lot more of an interesting way to subvert the market by doing that, where you really can't tell, versus, like you said, the Kesha video starts with a close-up on the JBL Beats pill and then moves back into the beginning. Or Armandale. The Dussy of it. That's the Dussy of it all.
Duce, yeah, that's for all my dusty Joe Budden heads in here. They know about Duce and Armandale. That's for sure.
I wanted to know about that alcohol, Duce.
I believe it's like a brown. I believe it's like a whiskey or like a cognac. I believe. I've never sipped Duce. Where's David Cho when we need him? David Cho's had it. Yeah,
it's D''USSE with an accent mark on the E. So there's two accent marks on this cognac
it's like
brand.
Chloe Sevigny in this bitch. They got so many. Okay, well, I've never had it.
But my question is, obviously,
I'm surprised you've never had it, to be honest.
It's a cognac. I don't know which region, which chateau it's from in France, but I always thought that Dussy was like a reference to reproductive organs of a woman.
Okay.
So I thought that was sort of the amalgamation of the ass and the pussy together. I've heard and seen movies and rap videos where it's kind of like smelling like Dussy up in here, something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that you're mispronouncing it to sweeten your case, which I respect.
Is it Duce?
No, it's Duce.
Duce.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Duce versus Duce,
you're saying Ducey. Ducey?
Smelling like Ducey up in here.
You're saying
Ducey.
You're saying Dussy versus Duce. It is a different, because you're trying to rhyme it with pussy,
Duce
I know you're a lyrical miracle kind of guy. You want to see how you can rhyme it with some of the stuff you're working on. So I understand why you're pronouncing it that way. But if Jay-Z is listening, or any of my rock La Familia, they would be upset to hear it mispronounced.
I can't be the first person to put those two things together.
Oh no, I don't think anyone's ever pronounced it correctly. Actually, the only reason I know is literally from listening to some podcaster. I've heard it said correctly. That's the only reason I know.
Now I've got a hankering for a Duce and diet.
Oh, you need
on the rocks.
Oh shit!
After a hard weekend,
that's the official How Long Gone cocktail. Duce and Diet Coke on the rocks. Go ask your bartender for the.
Bro, you sit in my section. That's all we got. You want to sit in my section? Is Duce and Diet.
Oh yeah, this chick came in our section in Silencio asking for fucking vodka. I was like, it's only Duce and Diet in this bitch. You know that.
Better not be no Dr. Pepper neither.
Duce and Diet is so sick.
Duce and Diet in my coat.
Look, this is good. Duce, this is the best press they've gotten in a while. I think we're doing them a favor, but this is a good idea, because we do need a signature cocktail, and it can't be some
desperately need a signature cocktail. And thank you to Yola for supplying our skinny margs for our How Long Gone after party in Los Angeles. Sorry for interrupting.
I guess it's a Yola skinny marg could be the How Long Gone cocktail, but I also feel like it needs to be something more twisted.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can't be. It needs to be Duce and Diet. Duce and Diet's the only.
It needs to be Duce and Diet.
That's our version.
It needs to be like
of the Incredible
Nitro.
Hulk. You know what I
Can
mean?
we make Nitro Duce? Is the technology
What
there?
if we? Oh, bro, hold on. Duce, cold brew, and Diet.
Yeah, you see?
Oh shit. We did it again.
We're pouring
Get in the lab, bro. Get in the lab. You're my technician. We got to do some recipe testing.
I mean, are we thinking Ethiopian or Colombian? I mean, just like we're just doing big cuts right now,
God.
And then we'll kind of get into the sub regions.
Don't make me choose. I mean, I don't. I obviously have a taste for both, but I'm gonna. You're an expert, so I'll leave it to you on this. But I think that it would have to be. Obviously, we could bring back the mud cold brew.
Mm-hmm. That formula is already perfected.
We've perfected that formula. Delicious. And then we could mix that with some Duce. I'm sure they would send us free cases. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Diet Coke is cheap. You can hit Ralph's for that. I think this is the next time we do something public facing, this drink is going to be on the menu. I want to be very clear.
Yeah, it's going to debut January 20th, which will be the last day that Diet Coke exists. But also, this is so how long gone. We're all about scarcity marketing. So we're going to stockpile all the DC, and it's going to drop January 20th. You're like, oh, how do you even sell that? There's Diet Coke's not for sale anymore. And you're like,
oh my God. Can you imagine?
Some people have it, honey.
Can you imagine when people thought it was going to be some nasty Gia, but instead they get Douce Diet and cold brew? That's making somebody's night.
They get the evergreen flavor, America's flavor of French cognac, Diet Coke, and cold brew produced in Indianapolis, Indiana. Those three things. It's a United Nations, a united color of Benetton in my mouth. Pause.
Obviously, we want to do it with Tinker, but if under duress, the most American thing to do would obviously be Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And I hate to even introduce that, but I feel like that's an idea that you would like. And the question is, can we make this canned? Could we can this cocktail? Is it possible to make it that kind of beverage that you could buy at your local shoppy shop?
Yeah, I want it to be, and I don't want it to be sold in these gay little cans. I don't want it to be these little dinky session lagers or any of these skinny seltzerinos. I want it to be the Guinness can.
Okay.
That's like 12 inches long. It's the thick metal. You want to bend it, good luck. And it has the little nitrous ball inside there.
Yes. Like a Boddington's.
Clicks it open.
Like a Boddington's.
Like a Boddington's. It's got the ball bearing in there. It moves it around because,
ball bearing? We got bones in our shit.
No, I think it is a ball bearing.
No, they do. No, it is. But that would be a nice, because that's a little oversized too. It'll fit nicely in your new Ford Bronco cup holder. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have any problems. It's portable.
Yeah, officer pulls you over. They're like, oh, this is just a cold brew. They have no idea that there's straight up Douce in that cup. Fucking idiot. Unless you get a cool cop where they're like, wait a minute, is that a Douce Diet cold brew? Dude, you're my squad. You could pull me over, buddy.
Oh God, that's the ad campaign right there. You get pulled over. The cop walks up. He's suspiciously good looking and pretty cool. All of a sudden, he smells the Douce Diet cold brew on your breath.
Yeah.
He gets in the passenger seat. He leaves the cop car there. You guys drive off to Vegas.
We don't even have to spend a dime on marketing, because as soon as everyone finds out that this is the one alcohol that's a loophole system for the DUI. It's going to fly off the shelves. You're like, well, I'm worried about getting a DUI, so I'm only going to drink Douce Diet and cold brew just to be safe.
Yeah, you thought the espresso martini was good. Wait till you get your fucking chapped lips on this.
Yeah, I wanted to have a Cosmo, but
yeah.
I just got to do a triple D. I guess no. It's we need a better name for this.
We're going to come up with something. We have time, because this is going to take at least, we have till January 20th to get the formulation as well as the name and brand. I'll text Sam J now and get him kind of working
Angels,
on the
I know you're listening. All my founders. We're gonna do a cap floor Q2. Probably early Feb.
Not cap. Come to the cap table with your Douce. Okay. Now that we've come up with the greatest.
The cap table for your Douce. That's table 12 at Magic City. Yeah. That's where you're not allowed to tell a lie at the cap table.
That's what I was saying.
They have no idea that has anything to do with.
I was saying the cap. When I hear cap table, I'm like, all right, I guess that's what we're doing. Then we're telling the truth today. Okay, shit. Sit down then. Sit down.
That's Joe Budden's third new podcast. Welcome to the cap table.
Oh, cap table. Cap table as a truth-telling podcast is that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
It could be a good Kevin Hart movie as well, like those movies like the Jim Carrey Liar Liar, where
totally.
I woke up, I got hit in the head, and I just can't tell a lie. Redo it with Kevin.
Kai, you could get Kai Sennett, Speed, Drewski, everybody's in that. I can see it right now. Produced by Tyler Perry. That's a hit. That's a hit waiting to happen.
Speaking of CEOs, Tyler Perry's company CEO, he just died in an airplane crash solo, piloting himself in ATL. Put your
that's how you die.
Your A's up.
Throw your A's up. That's how you die. That's why I have no. I would happily die in a private plane crash. Obviously, I think it's a glamorous.
I get
way
the
to
bag.
Go out.
No planes, no motorcycles, no gliding,
no motorcycles. But the thing about the private plane crashes is this often happens when the rich guy is the actual pilot and not the passenger, and that's where the issue arises.
Yeah, exactly.
Because obviously the holding costs of a private plane, gas, like storage, it's all very, very expensive. But
registration, you kidding me?
The pilots and staff are also just astronomical. So I think these guys like have a passion for flying. They also want to save a little cash. The rich get richer, and then they die young.
You're not wrong. I think it could be as simple as like, I got all of my assistants and my team in blowing up my shit. I got my wife, my kids, everyone's bugging me. I just need some alone time. I'm up there, and you get like a Zen thing where I'm solo. Or it could just be as simple as like, I went hard on the Jersey Mikes for lunch, and I'm a little gassy, so I'm just gonna kind of go up solo. I don't need a co-pilot, kind of Dutch ovening at 30,000. Let's go pay some bills.
It's honestly not crazy. I won't fly.
I will not fly. I wanted to talk about. Well, first of all, thanks to all of our people that came out in LA for our show. It was a really good show. Robbie Hoffman, obviously, is the rising talent of the comedy world in America, and we're lucky to have hitched our wagon to her. Shooting star. Watch her space. Good job, everyone. And thanks to Emil for hosting our after party at his dope space on Hyperion.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed because, well, first of all, Robbie declared that men are back and that we're part of that. And I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And I appreciate her. Yeah. I appreciate her support because it's been a tough road. And so to get here.
She's kind of like, remember guys.
But I went to Emil's, but I left. Yeah, I hadn't been yet. I actually wrote a story about it, but he gave me a tour on FaceTime, so I hadn't been yet.
You got the virtual tour?
I got a virtual tour. My realtor gave me a virtual tour.
Journalism is not dead.
It is very impressive. It is very, very cool. I knew it was, but like the commercial kitchen plus two like one writing room, one studio, the whole, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just, it really is a compound.
And I think because he's a twisted guy, he wants you to smoke in there, like that's kind of fun.
No, it's very, I mean, he literally offered to host this, and I'm like, this is the best possible option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is as good as it gets. But
thank you.
We should also talk about how our former enemies at Quarter Sheets sent us.
Your former, not mine.
My former enemies. I'll say it. That's fine. I have several enemies.
I can afford their cake.
My enemies at Quarter Sheets sent us a princess cake with an olive branch on top of it as a gesture, and I have to say I am floored at how clever and cool that was.
Right.
And now I am a stan for all Quarter Sheets products and projects. Unfortunately, I did leave the party before I got to try the cake because I left when I was walking out. Cord Jefferson was standing near the cake, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cake. Somebody should cut it." And he was like, And he opened it. He was like, "Oh shit, this is Quarter Sheets princess cake. I have to have this.
Don't be cutting on my cake unless you get the green light, all right, bro?"
But I gave him the green, and then he went, and I was like, "There's literally a commercial kitchen. Just take it in there, and there'll be somebody to cut it. Like there's somebody in there that
just have the CDC do it.
They cut it, and then Ryland texted me yesterday morning being like, that's the best cake I've ever had. I can't believe it. He's like, I was eating it with my hands, and I'm a little upset that I didn't get to try it, but I'll be. Yeah, that's right.
Come on, Ryland, you're better than that.
Well, it could have been a shortage of cutlery. We don't know what the situation was. We don't know what the situation was.
It was the classic princess cake, but green with the literal olive branch on there. I ate one of the olives, bad idea. But the classic olive oil, chiffon, vanilla bean, custard, raspberry, preserves with the almond marzipan on the outside. Quarter Sheet's the only place really doing the little kind of fondant outside marzipan thingy where it actually tastes good and it helps the flavor versus being like a weird sugary stodgy clumpy thing. So shout outs to them. I think Cord Jefferson and I are going to go dine there at some point in the next week or two because he had never been and had the pizza.
I will be when I'm back in LA. I'm going. Even though where is it? It's like Echo Park.
Echo Park, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I'll pack a sleeping bag. And just
we'll get Vic to drive us.
That's a great idea. But I was like, this really is the most clever, cool gesture I've probably ever gotten. I was very impressed. I think it's very cool.
Yeah. So it's sort of becoming a theme where all you have to do is send us amazing cakes, or you could just write about us in your book. If you include us in your book, shout out to Emalia Russo. She wrote a book called Vivienne. a novel, and there's a reference to some guys chatting podcast that was based off of us. But I'm like, okay,
what's it called? What's the podcast called? The fictional podcast.
Oh, it's called
what?
It was like something chat. God, what was it?
No, it wasn't. It was like, wait, what?
No, I think it was wait, comma, what, with like 3 question marks.
Which is so fucking funny. That is so funny. Yeah, that was a good. Well, we discovered that because Rachel Tashin wrote about it in her newsletter, and Alex texted me being like, "You guys are in a book." I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck are you talking about," and then I had Rachel send me the passages. It's really funny. It's really, really funny. And the dialogue.
I bought the book. I'm holding it with my hands right now.
The dialogue is unfortunately a little too good, and made me kind of think about myself and how I approach things.
Yeah, we will see. Much to read. I'm gonna have to read that after I finish Didion and Babbitt's, because we got the author Lily coming up on the pod in a couple weeks. That's exciting, but we should talk about the biggest news story of the week that we didn't really get a chance to talk about in the last pod because it hadn't really happened enough yet, but hot shooter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of over it now, unfortunately. But
a new alleged photo of him has dropped.
Yeah, like the one in the cab, like the one in the
cab.
Yeah.
He's getting hotter. His skin is getting better. His eyebrow structure is improving. Neil Brennan said, there's been like lookalike memes with.
They did a lookalike contest in New York yesterday.
They did a lookalike contest, which is a very easy contest to lookalike, considering
it's funny.
You're wearing a hood and a mask over your face. But all you have to do is go to the Brixton website and buy the backpack, and you're good. But Neil Brennan did a little side-by-side photo about somebody that I think the government wasn't considering as a suspect, Anne Hathaway.
Yes, I saw that.
Very similar, and I was like, "Damn, this is kind of spot on."
I saw that,
but I saw on the one where you can kind of see how he's got like a horny uptick on his nose. He has like a playful kind of mousy face, but still, a handsome, good-looking guy. Unsure on his ethnic background, but
we love that.
I thought that he kind of looked like, and this is floating a new conspiracy theory. He looked like the human personification of the V is for Vendetta anonymous mask. You know what I'm saying?
You went way over my head with that, bro. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like.
You've seen the anonymous mask.
Oh, and I mean, I don't know what V for Vendetta is a movie though, right?
V for Vendetta is a movie, and then the character on it. I haven't seen the movie, but the guy's name is Guy Fawkes. Fawkes.
Oh, that mask. Oh, yeah.
And it's a mask where it's like a white guy with a little goatee and the mustache.
He does look like that, but it's more of the like, he's pretty clean shaven though, right? He doesn't have a mustache.
He doesn't have a mustache, but I think similar kind of facial features.
Yeah, the features are similar.
And then this kind of playful grin. It's a little court gestury. And then I was like, damn, what if this was straight up anonymous who killed this guy? Because it's so anonymous to murder the CEO of a healthcare
It's extremely anonymous. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Damn.
So this could be like a Tesla robot, but we gave him talked about this sort of Guy Fawkes.
We talked about this a lot at the show at the El Rey, and the reaction is people love this story. Like we talked about CEO thing earlier in the podcast, but like the way people react to this is crazy, kind of.
And there's been a couple like big news articles, New York Times articles about how how crazy it is that everyone is cheering on, laughing, having a beautiful time celebrating this person's murder as if he was Adolf Hitler finally being assassinated or something like that.
Yeah, it's a real dancing on the ashes type of situation. I guess I expect it from like a certain kind of person, but I feel like it's getting people. It's people you wouldn't expect are kind of doing the same.
Yeah, because everyone that we know in America has been fucked by the healthcare system one way or another.
Yeah, it's the most unifying thing possible, being fucked by the healthcare system.
Everyone knows somebody who's like aunt got cancer and now their family's bankrupt.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I mean, it's
been paying health insurance since the 70s, never missed a payment.
And that is still my theory, is that this man, whoever he is, or woman, I don't want to gender, is definitely avenging a family member or loved one's death at the hands of evil insurance. That is still where I'm holding strong.
Well, I want it to be. I mean, people were saying, some similarities with like a Batman kind of character, Robin Hood kind of vibe, a merry prankster who's going through and, fighting the good fight against the evil man. But I think I saw another news story where it said they finally recovered the backpack, supposedly the same backpack, and found that it was only filled with Monopoly money, which is now giving a very Joker Part 2.
Hugely Joker.
And now I kind of want to see Joker 2 now.
There's nothing in the world that could make me want to see Joker 2. But
what about a glowing John Waters review?
That doesn't help. No, I don't care. I think that
it helps. It worked on me.
I do think that's interesting though.
Like, could we have a guy who is going through and doing crazy shit like this, and he's going to get this weird groundswell. He's going to become this infamous counterculture person. Maybe is that going to spawn other people in other parts of the world who do it? Who's behind it, who's paying for it, who's giving him the intel of where it is. It feels like we in a movie.
It does feel like we in a movie, yeah, and it's bad.
And it's a great distraction from whatever is going on in the world right now. Whatever they're doing to us.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll continue to monitor the situation closely, of course. But they're going to catch him eventually. Because it doesn't seem like he's trying that hard. It just seems like the NYPD is that incompetent. Like, he literally rode a city bike and took a bus. Like, that's the most
sometimes
straightforward.
It's a plan that's so stupid it just might work kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I mean, I think that's totally true. I think that's totally
but
true.
At this point, it has to be beyond NYPD, and it feels like it's more of a
a
national terrorism.
Well,
threat.
it's like one of those Law and Order episodes where they're kind of beefing over territory. This is our fucking case. This happened on our watch. And
get this guy off my crime scene.
And then exactly.
It was your crime scene.
Exactly. Was your crime scene. Chris Black, FBI. We'll take it from here.
The suits are here.
We'll take it from here. You and I roll up in suits and say, look, you guys are out of your jurisdiction. This is a federal case now.
You could tell your boys to go take a donut break.
I was watching this I saw a video on Reels yesterday while I was killing 7 hours of former Nick J.R. Smith.
You probably watched all the Reels yesterday, didn't you?
I hit the end of Reels. J.R. Smith was talking about what he ate before, like during his prime years on the Knicks. He was like, yeah, I would go to MSG hour like earlier than anyone else, and then I would work out, I'd shoot around, and I'd be really hungry before the game, so I would send the ball boy to get a Dunkin' Donuts, 8 sugars, 8 milk, like 8 sugars and 8 counts of milk coffee, and then eat chicken fingers before I play professional basketball.
Yeah.
I was like, that is just so wild. It's so crazy that people do that.
I think it's a cool thing, and I think it makes people like you feel like they're taking crazy pills, and that's also sort of interesting. But I think there's so many people out there just because of their genetic background, and
totally.
It's the only thing they know.
Yeah, it's Tim Coleman. Tim Coleman. We drove from the show to Emil's. He drove me there. We get out of the car, we're walking to Emil's, and he has a Coca-Cola. And I'm like, we didn't stop. Where'd you get it? He's like, I keep a 12-pack in the car. I was like, what? Dude? Like,
room temp.
The guy looks amazing. It's genetic. I mean, in an athlete's case, it's like they're exercising all day, every day. They probably can't eat enough. It's probably hard to eat enough, But I love just how far they'll push it.
Like, I'm drinking this Coke because I need the calories for sustenance.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference. It blew my mind.
Damn.
Blew my mind.
I mean, at this point, I was thinking, I like that you're getting those videos, and then my feed is like a guy being like, we don't need to eat.
yeah, like
like nobody told you that we need to eat every day or even every month.
That's
and then I'm like, damn, maybe if I just don't eat every Monday and then the other days of the week, it'll just like, because you got to think macro, not micro.
Of course.
Think the long game.
I got to be honest, I never really used Reels before. Like I had never like scrolled reels.
You never got caught up in the little riptide where it gets you.
I'd never gotten caught in the riptide, and then yesterday, because of my situation, I got caught in the riptide, and I have to say, man, it is bad out there. It is worse than people have been saying. I didn't know. Twitter is still better. It's crazy. Twitter is still better.
There's a lot that you have to go through on Twitter, though. Twitter is getting you and I have blessed algos compared to the other, what people are complaining about. Maybe they're just not built as tough as we are, but I feel like we must have better algos than other people, because everyone complains all the time about how the amount of shit that they have to sift through to get one good, funny, racist joke is just maybe not worth it.
I think there's a little bit of like groupthink, like joining in, being like, yeah, fuck Elon, fuck Twitter sucks, without actually using it, or you know what I mean, or like really having the experience. I think it's very easy to say it sucks because that's what's cool now.
Yes, I agree. And then also, so that means that we're a little bit cooler and different for actually liking it. I like this so far.
Whoa,
but I think that when we were talking about the hot shooter and about the social media uproar about how everyone is, smashing the like button and replying with the laughing happy guy emoji to a guy's obituary, I think this is the first time where we've seen the rise of Bluesky to be big enough to where there are a lot of people on Bluesky who are now posting offensive,
you're
negative things as well.
Something cool is happening on Bluesky for the first and last time.
Well, it's more so just like, we have left Twitter to go to this utopian land called Bluesky, where there's padded walls and you can never drown in the ocean and there's free candy. And then they're like, oh, there's like Nazis on here too now. Oh,
yeah.
And so,
yeah, they can't keep them. They can't keep them out forever. Bluesky.social.com.
It's growing pains. It's so hard to scale in this market.
I know. That's when I was talking to my founders.
A lot of people ask me that question, like how to scale, and I'm always like, bro, if I knew that, I wouldn't be talking to you right now, buddy.
Hey, bud, I wouldn't be wasting my time with you. Oh man. Okay.
Now get out of my keynote.
If you don't get out of my keynote right now, yeah, it feels good to be back in New York. It's cold but sunny. It's going to be a big week. Happy to be here. And we at How Long Gone.
Is it going to be a big week?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. Big pods, I guess. Yeah, one very big pod. If everything goes as planned.
I need to look. Let me take a look
for Friday. You'll be excited on Thursday the 12th.
Yes I will.
I mean, fingers crossed.
This is good.
Fingers crossed.
This is going to be a good week. We're
going to talk to your favorite graphic design experiential company that has done everything that you like, and then we're going to talk to a actual queen of television, Hollywood royalty. Also, let's not forget
I need to talk to her about the 2 freeway. We both have a lot of history with the 2 freeway.
We definitely cannot bring up the 2 freeway. How Long Gone?
Noted.
How Long Gone is the podcast you're listening to. HowLongGone.com is the website. Thank you everyone who came to the El Rey. Thank you to everyone who came to Webster Hall. We are done with live shows for the year. Which feels good.
Mm-hmm. But we went out with a bang. I was really happy with those 2 shows that we ended up with.
Me too.
I'm like, damn, we're really good.
I wouldn't go that far. How Long Gone? Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back next week with more podcasts.